Good afternoon. So my name is Ranjan Relan and I'm founder of this company called as Analytics.ai. You might have seen lot of companies coming today talking about agents. Very few with have a domain called agents. Why I'm trying to highlight this is Agent.ai. Someone was saying a few weeks back that it is being sold as a domain for $5 million. We as a company started very early in this game. The agentic paper came on 16th August 2023, and we started the company on 12th September. Not even a month passed by when we read that paper. So I'm just going to talk about our journey. We are not a very 8-year, 10-year-old company. We are a startup company. It's a Happy Llama startup event. And we want to talk about how our journey has been sharing with you. So the topic, anyone knows what is the topic for this session? Exactly, horizontal versus vertical AI. So that wakes us up, so the next agentic frontier, horizontal or vertical AI agents. Frankly, when we started, that question was not even there. We just started building something on agentic AI. And that's why, when it's been 18 months now, and when we talk to customers, when we talk to VCs, we talk to some of the people, I was sitting in the speaker lounge, they're saying, oh, we are a voice AI agent company, or we are a conversational AI company, we are vertical AI agents. VCs want to focus on horizontal or vertical. So we'll talk about our experience, how the market has grown in the last 18 months. That's what the whole session is all about. Before I talk more on the session, our company has products called as Waveflow, which is a full stack agentic product. It has its own UI. It's a low-code, no-code vibe coding platform. We have created an own vector database. We have created our own re-rank algorithms, and we've created our own multi-agent framework. And also we have something called as AI Clara. And this we have done in last 18 months. I think a lot of folks might have heard Piyush Goyal saying about deep tech company. We are a deep tech company. We created all of these proprietary algorithms ourselves. So as a next, my background, I'll just say, so I've been in the industry for 18 years. If you know a ZS associate, I'm an ex-ZS associate consultant. My first 10 years, I was a technology guy. I worked as a data warehousing architect, then big data architect. In fact, I used to write for Analytics India magazine. I was talking there in 2014 when I was a big data architect, and I've been coming here after 10 years. And last 6 years, I was in consulting, ZS Associate, where I used to do enterprise sales. And that's why when we started this company 18 months back, the focus of the company was only enterprise. Now we are moving into SMB space also. I'm also an author. I have my courses in Pluralsight, Coursera, and Analytics India magazine. As I was talking, I've written articles here. About my co-founder, he and I have been working for last 10 years like a brother now. His experience has been, he's an IIM Calcutta alumnus, 17 years in industry. He was AI head of a Sequoia-funded company in Singapore. And then he was director of innovation in Gartner. He's working on innovations on GPT since GPT-1 days. So that's the background. When we say building proprietary deep tech platforms, we are a full stack. So that's the credibility one of our CTO, our co-founder comes with. He's an alum of IIM Calcutta. So the agenda is horizontal versus vertical AI. Since I have 20 minutes, I thought I'll divide into 4 parts. When you make sessions, how do I tell the team what's coming in next 15 minutes or 20 minutes for you? So the first part is, why this topic? And the second is why horizontal AI agents? The third is why vertical AI agents, what's going on in the market, what's competitor intelligence, what's going on. And all of these things has come up in last 18 months, I didn't even knew what horizontal AI agents when I was talking to VCs, okay, are you a horizontal company or a vertical AI company? Just come up in last 4 months. And then finally our startup experience. What has been our experience? I want to share this journey with you here. In terms of why this topic, I think the first reason, as I said, our current journey, if you look at it, agentic paper came in August 2023. We started in September 2023. And it was a bet. There was discussions. You are creating any vanilla on top of it. You're creating AI girlfriend or AI boyfriends on top of it, just top of, or mental health applications. Our focus was enterprise needs to solve real problem. Enterprise pays, they don't pay $40. They start with $40,000. Even a basic POC costs that much. But then they need real value to be solved because we were in enterprise. Both Nitin and I have a background on this. And then in November 2023, 4 months down the line, Bill Gates said, future of AI are agents. In March 2024, Andrew Ng, Coursera founder, co-founder of Google Brain and Coursera founder, said, agentic workflows are the next big thing. Then again, Sonia from Sequoia Capital said about agents. And finally, this statement by Mark Zuckerberg, right? It's like, if you remember 20 years back, people used to say there'll be more IP addresses than humans in the world. And then IPv6 came, 30 years back. Today, Mark Zuckerberg said in next 10 years, there'll be more AI agents than humans in the world. So the market is extremely huge. So that's what it says. And the second, 2025, we talk about 2023, we started 2024. And what happened in 2025? January, NVIDIA CEO said agentic AI is the next big thing. And he also said it's a multi-trillion dollar opportunity. And then Microsoft CEO said SaaS is dead, agentic AI is the next reason. And Salesforce came up with its own agent force. Probably I'll do some selling here. Salesforce conversational AI costs $2.5. Our cost for 17 cents. It's 10x less because of the proprietary technology which we have built. So the reason too, again, I'm coming back to the topic, why this topic, the market is huge. As I was saying, Gartner said, if any of you who have been from enterprise backgrounds, enterprise are extremely slow. In next 5 years, they are saying 33% of enterprise software will be agentic. That's huge. If you have seen big data, I was a big data architect, then MLOps architect. It takes years to get into enterprises, doing a POC for 2 years, then another year for doing implementation. For example, I'll give an example. I did MLOps came in 2018. I put an initial course in Pluralsight, which went to Microsoft documentation. 2022, after 4 years, I sold first project for a very large big pharma company on MLOps, which was $3 million. After 4 years, they went into applied MLOps phase. So technology takes time. But here Gartner is saying in next 5 years, 33% of enterprise software will be agentic. So that's the huge opportunity it is. The second is market.us. It says ready to deploy agents. One is you build your own agents or ready to deploy agents. It will grow at 43% CAGR. Now, why I put this figure, people who come from, I was talking about enterprise, people who come from finance background or VCs, right? 72% is the magic number. If you grow at 72%, your money doubles. But 43% means every 2 years, your money will double if you put it in an agentic company. And the third is Mark Zuckerberg, as I was saying, there'll be more AI humans, more AI agents than humans in the world. So that's the second reason for doing this session on, horizontal versus vertical AI agents. The third reason is our past experience with innovation waves. As I was mentioning, we have seen 4 waves. Here, primarily, both Nitin and I have been analytics guys. Though I'm the CEO, I never did, he did MBA, but he went on to become CTO. I did, a master's in AI, and I went on to become a CEO, maybe more of personalities. But when we keep on discussing on the analytics space, if you see in 2014, so we call it ABCD wave, we used to go to our customers and say, digital transformation, you need to learn the new ABCD, So what are the new ABCD? The first is A, AI wave. When Jeffrey Hinton, talked about CNN, RNN, he wrote that in 2014 and became boom. And he got a Nobel Prize recently last year for this. Then big data. If you know about big data, I was a big data architect. Analytics, Databricks became a $1 billion company. I think it got some $42 billion valuation recently. It came in 2013. The third is cloud. Cloud wave came in. Microsoft started in 2016. Google started in 2018, Google Cloud Engineers, but Amazon, though, started quite early, but there was a cloud wave. And then there was data warehousing wave. It's quite, old in the 2000s, data warehousing, Teradata moving from database. Do you see anyone sees any kind of pattern in all these 4? Any theme anyone sees? Sorry? Which market it targets? I'll give a hint. Sorry? It targets B2B markets. Primarily B2B. Yes, exactly, enterprises. Have you seen a big data application on Android? Have you seen someone building a startup on cloud on Android or iOS? You don't see that B2B space. But this time it's different. This time, this agentic wave, it disrupts, you see B2B companies, you see B2C companies. Whether you talk about VCs, you talk about market research, you look at it, as I was mentioning, Gartner says 33% of software will be, agentic. It's a B2B space they're talking about it. And then, if you have seen that movie, Her, AI girlfriend will be a $24 billion market by 2034. I'm talking about AI girlfriend, not mental health applications. One of my friends is also running it. It's such a crowded market, but very easy to build, but still growing it up. What I'm saying is B2C, there are a lot of applications which are coming up. So moving on to the next, the reason for, since we have been in this journey for last 1.5 years, AI agentic world is on steroids. Till now, you might have figured it out, It's huge market, CAGR is huge, B2B, B2C. Then what else? What next? It's on steroid. But then why there is so much hesitancy or there is no hesitancy? What's going on? So one of the key questions which are asked by players, right? Enterprise customers, what are the use cases? What are the use cases you solve? And we'll talk more about it, And then venture capital, do you have got a product market fit? Or what use cases you're doing? Do you have a recurring revenue? If you know AI SDRs of Artisan company, it almost has gotten $30 million of funding. But its revenue still, even after so much funding, even after 2 years of hype, is only $4 million. And we all know, even a basic implementation in enterprise, if you do one large, it can go till $20 million very easily. So that's one. And second, and the third is startup employees. There's a lot of pivots going on currently. People is, as with any new technology comes in. And what's going on is, that's what the second part, we'll cover it out, right? And the third part, horizontal AI, the market is dividing into two parts, basically. One is horizontal agents. Second is vertical AI agent companies. So when we say horizontal agents, see, they are like Swiss Army knives, very attractive. You can think about, when we say about horizontal agents, you can think it's a large total addressable market. Like you build a low-code, no-code platform. Everyone is building a low-code, even service companies are building a low-code, no-code platform. I don't want to name them, very large Indian companies are building their own platforms. Even consulting companies are building their platforms. But then what happens when we talk to them, their board sometimes says, yes, you can sell it to some customers, but after 5 years, who will maintain this platform? So then they go up with companies which are companies like ours, which are product or platform from day one and very focused, will not do services. And the second is, they think that there's a lot of more customer potential, which is there, but then there are certain disadvantages. So when you build a horizontal AI company, there is a use case dilemma. Let's say you have built, will we think about a low-code, no-code platform? It's not for physicians, it's not for clinicians, it is not for any pharma company, it's not for any supply chain company. What is the use case? Let's talk about voice AI agents also. I was just talking to someone, when we talk about voice AI agents, does voice AI agents work for all use cases? Anyone here? No, right? Even the top companies, when you talk to them, because of hallucination, they only work in specific scenarios. They don't work in all the scenarios. Conversational AI, does it work? It's again a horizontal. Does it work in all use cases? Answer is no. Sales development representative. When you do sales, people who are from sales background, what is the best sales? It's trust-based, human-based sales. Can you go and do a $1 million deal for, by selling a SDR? Sending your SDR. Even Artisan, when it was asking VC for money, it was doing kind of sales. It was going itself, right? So the most kind of use cases where you are seeing traction is customer SDRs or customer chatbots, not marketing or sales part of it, though they do automate some part of it. And the second is horizontal companies are more of enablers. If you look at AWS, you look at low-code, no-code platforms, you look at databases, they are enablers. And big tech, generally big tech loves this. There is no service required. They'll build a database, they'll build kind of low-code, no-code platforms, or they'll build ETLs of the world. And that's how the whole horizontal market gets crowded from big tech because of their distribution. However, in last 6, and again, just to give you an example of it, we started building multi-agent framework almost 1.5 years back. But look at, in September 2023, you look at Microsoft come in October 2024, OpenAI came up with Swarm multi-agent framework in September 2024, IBM came up with B-agent framework in September 2024, and AWS came up with its multi-agent orchestration in September 2024. Everyone is coming with a framework. Basically, it's not very complex to build those frameworks now because people understand what the use cases are coming in. Now, however to win, there are many companies who have done in the past. It doesn't mean horizontal companies don't succeed, For example, you start early, Creo AI, is doing very good currently. It started early, it uses Product Hunt. There are millions of AI agents which are working on Creo AI. Build community, Autogen, Autogen, its founder we met, we'll show you in coming slides. They build a community. Building a community also makes you, build horizontal companies. See, there are not 5 horizontal companies. There are 20,000, $100 million companies in US. Many you might not have heard of. There are test companies running out of India whom I've talked to. They are building horizontal startups, but doing $100 million plus revenue out of it. But it takes them 6 years, 7 years of it. Because once an enterprise customer comes in, it generally doesn't go. And the third is how to win, frugal innovation. Now, I wanted to show this. My CTO Nitin wanted to build LLM on CPU. I was not letting him go there to keep focusing on what we are building. But, Compact AI and IIT Madras, you might have read news, recently built LLM on CPUs. They have been, when I say build means they are able to run LLMs on CPU. And the final is beachhead strategy. If you heard about companies like Data IQ or Data Stacks started in 2010. It does $250 million revenue. It was sold to IBM at a 8x valuation. For a startup, it's a dream and an 8x valuation, even after 14 years. Data IQ does $300 million revenue, even in a crowded market like data engineering. It started in 24. What it did beautiful is it had GTM partners. Those GTM partners took it to enterprise customers and with amazing UX. It's a France-based company. So if you read about the playbooks of it, horizontal companies, how do you build? This is one of the ways, some strategies which are being applied. Now, the vertical agents, vertical agentic companies, if you look about, they are like solving a point task, which is very repetitive in nature. If you heard about Replit and Cursor. So Replit and Cursor does almost $100 million now revenue. I think Cursor is doing $100 million ARR now. Then domain or role part of it, AI SDR does it. Then third is multiple tasks. How can you automate multiple tasks in a business domain? This is third way of building on vertical AI agents. And the final is design thinking, and merging multiple models. It's an upcoming area. One very beautiful vertical AI agent someone created was, you go into a meeting and that meeting notes gets recorded. You know what are the owners. And the same model goes to a Jira. It shows you what the meeting notes are, what are the tasks. It writes in front of it. It puts the tickets. And again, it is not happening at backend. It is using large action models. So those are the kind of point solutions people are building on vertical AI agents. So it looks very, very interesting to solve it. And there's a lot of fast adoption of it, but there are disadvantages. So many advantages big tech companies will not come in. You can create custom SDKs, less operational cost. You can sell within the domains. And CAC is low. But the disadvantage is innovation, it can get disrupted faster. So one of the innovation which we are thinking which might come is your context window size will, might become very, very huge. This will disrupt many, many companies which are building vertical AI agents, which me and Nitin keep on discussing it, what happens next. First ChatGPT came in, then agents came in, agents, one AI talking to another AI, then maybe context window comes in. So vertical AI agents are at a risk of getting disrupted very faster. And the lifetime value is less. If you say an enterprise customer stays with you minimum 5 to 10 years, the selling point of vertical AI agents are $40 or $100. And the lifetime might be 1 year or 2 years of it, or maybe 5 years if you're a market leader. So our journey, how our startup journey has been, we started early in September when there was no concept of horizontal, to be very frank. And this is Kin, Autogen founder. She reached out to us in 3-4 months. We were thinking of collaborating. She was going open source mode. We were building a low-code, no-code platform at that time, And so first product, which was a vibe coding for AI agent builders called as Waveflow UI. That's one of the first product we built. But what happened is, when we implemented for a client, we figured out the frameworks which are there in market, whether it is Autogen, with all due respect to them, and other frameworks which just came in 4-5 months back. There were a lot of hallucination. They were not even functionalities. So either we wait or we build ours. So we ended up building ours because we never wanted to go open source mode. We were very focused on enterprise customers. The privacy is there, security is there. And the second is, we also build a Waveflow database. We call it vector lake technology. So everyone, there is something called as Pinecone or Viviets of the world, quadrants of the world. What is new about it? If any one of you come from big data background, the biggest bottleneck today in the industry is network, I/O. In big data, it was used to say code moves to data rather than data moving to code. In ours also case, we don't move the data itself. We run it on top of your data lake. That's why I call it vector lake technology. And when you look at the pricing, Pinecone pricing at 500,000 embeddings is $8,000. Ours is around $800, almost 10x cheaper. That's because they have their own framework. We are using different technology. And trust me, when you build AI agents at scale, our total cost of operation says 60% of cost of AI agents, 60% of building a AI cost of AI agents would be on vector databases. And as Mark Zuckerberg said, there'll be more AI agents than humans in the world. So this is one of the things which it solves. And the next third offering we built is we also built a re-rank. So what is re-rank? You might have heard about RAG, but RAG works with re-rank to make it much more better. Cohere sells it for $1, 1,000 queries. We sell it for 1 cent for 1,000 queries. This also we have built on our own, our proprietary technology of it, which we call it, global re-rank. Basically, if you know about hallucination, what happens is your data gets chunked, and in that you do top K. But if let's say you are asking about a query and your data doesn't comes in the top K, it will hallucinate. What we have done is we have removed top K. We have built a global re-rank on that to reduce the hallucination, and we got 90% accuracy for one of our clients there. So I think that's, as I was talking about, the cost. And finally, if you look at MRR benchmark, as I was talking about, because of this re-rank algorithm, what does MRR means? Again, I'll just make it simplify. If you come from search background, MRR of 0.5 means in the first two, if you look at Google search, in the first two, your search comes in the first two links. If your MRR is 1, your search comes in the first. So most companies run MRR benchmark on 100 documents and they got 0.5. We ran it on 160,000 at scale, MRR, and we got 0.5. It means our search works at scale also, because we have done global re-rank. Most companies don't do it because of top K. So I think what we have built is a unified, full agentic platform. We have a database, though we are selling only low-code, no-code, and multi-agent platform. Our vector database and re-rank. We are not selling multi-agent framework. That's what we have built. You don't need, when you build a polyglot architecture. If you know polyglot, you use some AWS, GCPs, others of it. You don't need. You can have everything at here up and running for you. And finally, in a nutshell, a full agentic stack, it is Waveflow UI, database and global re-rank, which I was telling. To summarize, and this summarization might be for all of you, but primarily for startups, I wanted to create it's a startup event, is whether you're building a horizontal or a vertical AI agent company, right? It really depends upon when do you start your company, what is the capital you have, what is the speed of execution. So all these factors makes you build your own beachhead strategy, Don't go with what market, someone says, okay, you should build vertical AI agents or horizontal. It really depends, how do you get customers? What you have built till now, what is the capital available, what is the market access, all of these factors, as a founder, you need to take a final decision. And finally, if you are from 90s background, I also was there. If I used to consult a company called BPB Publication. Manish Jain is a very well, if any of you who have read the book, Let Us See, can I hands up, Let Us See? See, almost 80% of you. So almost, they've sold 160 million copies of it. So I used to consult them in 2016. Very well-known founder in India, the 3 generations running BPP publications. Everyone read that Let Us See book. He told me one thing when I used to give him, because I was a consultant. He says, sir, use case mein this is written, so this is what this paper says. He says, case studies are written by MBA folks after they are successful, not when they are building a company. So ask me, you need to really talk to 100 people to understand. And that reminds me of the last thing what, Roosevelt said for, probably it, hits a lot of founders. Man in the arena, if you have read about that article, it is not the critic who counts, but the man who is on the ground building the company. So I just thought of by closing with this. Sure. Thank you.